Hello guys, my name is Penny and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome and thank you very much for finding me. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to like and share my video. And if you're a returning subscriber, I hope you invited a friend, and thank you very much for being part of this wonderful community. So today we're going to speak about anatomy and physiology. We're going to speak about how to actually study those two modules, what resources you need to ace them, and everything around that. So anatomy is divided into human anatomy, into histology and embryology, at least at WITS. I don't know about other universities, and I'm also including other students that are not doing medicine. Maybe they are currently doing human anatomy only. So human anatomy is the study of the body parts. Actually, I would say, I don't know how to put it, like your muscles, your organs, your arteries, your veins. You actually study your body. And histology is the study of those organs at a very much, how can I say this, molecular level, like histological level. I'm not sure if you understand me. I don't know how to explain it. And then embryology aids their development, like how did your heart develop, how did your brain develop, how did every other thing develop. Yeah, so it's divided into those three parts. And then in this video I'm actually going to speak much about human anatomy, and I'm going to speak about physiology. So guys, don't mind the noise outside. I stay at rest and they are currently doing some construction thingy, so I'm trying my best to be as loud because I don't want to postpone shooting this video because there's never time to shoot it. So as I was saying, I'm going to speak much about the human anatomy, and I'm also going to speak about physiology. So physiology is more of the study of how your body works, study of processes in your body, how metabolism works, your hormones, your kidneys, how they work, and everything around that. So the reason why I'm going to focus on human anatomy is because histology, guys, I don't know what I was doing there, so I feel like I'm not the right person to actually advise anyone on how to study physiology, because yeah, I don't know what I was doing in physiology, and I feel like any other medical student actually felt the same. But then it's okay. So without wasting any other time, let's get into the video. So firstly, you need proper resources. I mean textbooks. Oh, another disclaimer that I forgot to make. So the last tip that I'm gonna give in this video is actually a very important tip, so please stay in this video until the end so you get to know what the tip is, because I feel like that tip actually overpowers every other tip that I'm actually going to talk about. Okay, so let's get to the tips. So firstly, I would recommend you to get a good textbook. So this is how the video is gonna go. I'm going to speak about anatomy, and after that I'll speak about physiology. I wanted to make a separate video, but then I discovered I could just combine everything together. I hope you guys actually get to follow. So please get a good textbook. That's the first step into getting to ace your anatomy. So get a good textbook, and Mina by textbook I mean a good atlas, because personally I didn't own a textbook. Like I didn't own any anatomy textbook. I'll explain that later, but then I would advise that you get an atlas. So the atlas that I used, and I think it's far most the best anatomy atlas ever, it's the Netter's atlas. Please get yourself a Netter's atlas. You can also get any other atlas, but what's any other atlas? Maybe McMean, but I don't think McMean is a good atlas to use to study for your anatomy. So most definitely, please get yourself a Netter's atlas. That's the first step. And you can have it as a physical copy, or you can get it digitally. So I had a physical copy because personally I like seeing things on paper, and I feel like it made me study better. And then my friends had a digital a digital version of the textbook, and also it worked for them. So you can choose what actually works for you. Another thing is that this Netter's atlas also has flashcards. So please get those flashcards. I think they are also important, especially because anatomy is a module whereby you need to like memorize things and know things. Like you need flashcards. If you can't make your own flashcards, then I recommend you get those flashcards. Even if you can, I recommend you get those flashcards because they actually show you the actual picture of everything, and then compared to you actually making your own flashcards, you don't actually get to like make proper drawings and everything. So I recommend you get the flashcards. I think those flashcards are very important. Personally, if I would go back, I would get them, just that I realized late and it was already too late for me, because yeah, I think they're just too pricey. So I was like, okay, I'll just finish the year without the flashcards. So if you can, please get the atlas and get the flashcards. So coming to the textbook part, there's a clinically oriented textbook that you can get also. It's more like a theory kind of textbook. Personally, as I said, I didn't own that textbook, but a friend did own it, and I think it is very useful. I don't know, I didn't use it, but then oh no, I actually had a digital version of it, but I think I opened it twice or once because of something I didn't understand. So you could also get the textbook, but I think you can survive without the textbook. But yeah, the atlas and the flashcards most definitely. Oh, another thing that I'm actually forgetting is the practical anatomy. So I had this textbook especially for my dissections, so I'd read through this textbook when I'm going for my practical sessions. And personally, most of my friends didn't have it, and they didn't see the use of that textbook, and I think most people don't see the use of that textbook. But personally, I think that textbook is very important, and at WITS they advise you to actually bring it to your dissection hall. So I think it's very important because it actually explains what you need to do for your dissection. So if you have the finances too, you can also get that textbook. I most definitely do recommend it. Moving on to histology, as I said, I'm not going to talk much about histology because I don't know. So moving on to histology, I actually also had a histology atlas that I would recommend that you get if you're also doing histology. So I would recommend you get the atlas. I didn't really open that atlas much because, guys, I won't lie, if I could go back to my second year, I would change a lot of things about how I studied my histology. So I didn't really open that atlas because I was focused more on human anatomy. So I was doing my anatomy almost every day, like every time, and I'd only tried studying for histology when I'm going to write the test. And surprisingly, we also had histology practicals, and I wouldn't even prepare for those. So but if I was to take the time back, I would most definitely do better. And I think histology is also important. It will improve your marks for anatomy. So please, if you're doing human anatomy, histology and embryology, please don't ignore your histology like I did. I ended up fighting for my life because I was ignoring my histology, and I only realized late that that book is actually so useful. That atlas, as it's very useful. Actually, it was so late when I realized it, and I was like, damn, if I could take back the time, I would do better. I would actually even prepare for my practicals with this atlas. So I recommend that atlas for histology. And then coming back to embryology, I didn't have any textbook for embryology, so I won't really advise much on embryo. And I don't think, if you're a vet student, I don't think you need a textbook for embryo. Your lecture slides are very much sufficient for your embryology, and I think embryology is very much easy to get and to understand if you give it your time. Moving on to physiology, also physiology, I didn't use any textbook. If you're at WITS, you don't need a textbook for physiology. I don't think you need a textbook. Personally, I didn't use any textbook. But if you know of any good physiology textbook, please plug it in the comment section. But for physiology, my lecture slides were very much sufficient, and I also used YouTube a lot and past papers. So for physiology, I advise, especially vets, second year medical students, you definitely do not need textbook, and they also provide notes for you. But any other physiology student, if you know of any good textbook, you can plug it below. And yeah, so let's move on to tip number 2. Tip number 2, okay, I just wrote everything down on my iPad because I know I'm gonna forget. So just give me like, okay, so moving on to tip number 2. Tip number 2, please attend your practicals, please attend your tutorials. So I'll speak about anatomy first. Usually anatomy, the practicals that are there are usually your dissections, and usually histology also has like practical sessions. So please guys, attend those. I know it's like compulsory to attend those dissection practicals at WITS, and I think it might be the same also at other universities. Please attend, but because it's compulsory to attend, I'd advise that please attend with intention. Also, if I could take back the time, I would actually go to those dissection sessions with intention. I would go prepared, I would go knowing my work, and I would go there to actually listen and learn. Because what happens is that sometimes by the time dissections come, you haven't covered the content, you don't know, and when you get there, it's like it's very useless. It's very easy to get confused in dissections. So what happens in dissections, they actually give you the opportunity to actually see the body parts, the structures, and everything that you have been learning. Take that as an opportunity and use it very wisely. Prepare for those dissections. As I said, there's also a practical anatomy that helps you prepare for them. And also, I feel like those dissections are going to be important for your spot test. Yeah man, if I had the time to go back, I would actually go to my dissections prepared. There were sessions where I would go and I would know nothing, you know, and yeah, but I think most sessions I was very much prepared, and that helped me a lot. So during dissections, you actually get to hold those structures, you actually get to hold the heart, you literally get to see everything, because usually when you're studying, you're seeing it on an atlas. So in the dissection hall, you actually get to see it like properly. So you get to hold the brain, see it, see those nerves, see where they pass. Sometimes it's difficult to actually see it, but at least try, because I feel like they're very helpful. Also, the histology practicals are very helpful, especially at WITS. Guys, I'll speak about WITS because I'm at WITS, but I'm not excluding other students and other universities. So for histology, if you're at WITS, the questions that are in those practicals are actually what is going to be in your test. So please pay attention during those practicals. I played a lot. I wish I had paid attention, so I would advise you to pay attention during those practicals. Yeah, so moving on to physiology. So in physiology at WITS, usually there are tutorials, so I would advise you to go through the work and actually attend those tutorials. They are not compulsory. I'm not sure if things have changed, but those tutorials are not compulsory, but please go. I think I went for the first and second block, guys. Third and fourth block I didn't go, I was so tired, but they were very helpful for my first 2 blocks, and I wish I had went for the last 2 blocks of the year. So usually anatomy is very overwhelming to a point whereby we get to forget physiology, you know, like, because I think second year medicine at WITS, not I think, if things haven't changed, I know. We do anatomy, physiology, and molecular medicine. So usually anatomy is like very overwhelming, especially during the first block when you're starting to do anatomy. You usually tend to give it more time, and we forget about physiology and more med. Please, I'm begging you, please. Physiology is actually very easy. I enjoyed physiology. It was actually the most easy. Molecular medicine was actually very difficult. Physiology is very easy if you actually do your lectures, attend whatever is needed to be attended, and actually do those tutorials and be up to date with your work. You don't even need a textbook. I feel like physiology is not even a lot of work. You just need to understand what's going on and attend your tutorials. So please attend those physiology tasks. That's my advice to you guys. Okay, so let's move on to tip number 3. So tip number 3, I would actually advise you to actually make flashcards and summaries. It's most definitely kind of like a study tip, kind of, because there's no point in going through your lecture slides, annotating, and being like, oh okay, I went through the arterial supply of the brain. Okay, I went through this, without actually making flashcards and actually making mnemonics on how you're going to remember everything. I feel like anatomy is more about remembering, so you need to write down how you're going to remember that certain thing, because you might have went through the lecture, but I'm telling you, when you're going to write the test, it's back to square one, because you won't remember. So I'd advise you to make flashcards, make mnemonics, write them down, like how can I put this, actually, just find a way you could remember the information. I'm not sure if you get my point. So I'd actually most definitely advise flashcards. They are so much important. Or you can actually write everything on one paper and just use highlighters. And also I feel like mnemonics in anatomy help a lot, just that sometimes you can remember the mnemonic and actually forget what it stands for. But please make mnemonics, they actually help a lot. That's what I did, that's what helped me pass anatomy and actually exempt from the module, making flashcards in a way on how to remember the work. And again, which is another study tip, kinda, anatomy needs consistency. So consistently do your work during the block, learn the work, learn during dissections, make those flashcards, and I'm telling you, you got this. When coming to physiology, I'll talk about embryology. I won't talk about histology, guys. As I said, histology, no. You have to find your way through that. You have to find your way through it, as I did. But then I'll speak about embryology. So for embryology, you just need to go through the lecture slides. I think lecture slides are are sufficient for your embryology. That's what I did. And actually, I wouldn't say I was serious about embryology, but because it's easy, I would literally go through embryology the morning of the exam and I'll just get it there. But don't be like me, be a good student and do your embryology. Embryology is actually as easy as that. So you just have to go through your lecture slides and make a short summary and you got your embryology. So I'll come to physiology. Physiology, as I said, it's all about processes. Hence, I loved it. I love studying in processes than actually getting to memorize something. So processes, I mean, this does that, then causes this, then causes that. And if this doesn't work, then causes this and this and that. I'm not sure if you get the logic around that, but that's what I mean by processes. I want to follow a certain, I want to follow something in order for me to learn and be like, oh, So what I did with physiology is to actually write summaries. So I'll actually just write summaries, sometimes stick them on my wall, and yeah, that's how I actually got to remember. And it makes it easier for you to actually to study for a physiology exam. So I actually want to put a positive mindset about physiology, because most people fail physiology and they're like, physiology is difficult. For me, the reason why I actually loved physiology, it's because you can actually get to relate. So the teacher, okay, metabolism works like this, okay? So you eat, it goes here, it does this, it does this. Carbohydrates are metabolized differently from your fats. This does this, enzymes and all that. I know it's a lot, but it's actually so great to learn, because you actually get to relate and be like, oh, so when I eat this, it does this. Also, when you come to your endocrine, you're gonna learn your hormones, they do this and this and this. Also, when you're doing your CNS, actually it's so surprising that I actually loved CNS, central nervous system, when we were in physiology than in anatomy, and we did them at the same time. So my block 2 in second year was the nervous system, and we actually did it in anatomy, where we're studying the brain, everything around the brain. And we did it in physiology, where we're actually studying how the brain works, why I'm actually able to speak now, what happens, which part controls what, which part controls my walking and everything. And I actually enjoyed the physiology, but the anatomy was so bad. So guys, study physiology with a positive mindset. Physiology is actually not as bad as you guys assume it is. And I'm sorry again, the students are banging their doors, sorry for that. So yeah, those are my tips. Make summaries and flashcards and you'll be fine. Okay, so moving on to the next tip. I actually promised myself that I won't speak for too long, but I think this video is becoming longer than I expected, but I hope it's actually so useful. So coming on to the next tip, I'd advise that maybe get someone to do everything with, because I feel like anatomy can get so overwhelming. Trust me, I was also overwhelmed. And also physiology, both of them can get so overwhelming. But what we did in second year, me and my friends would meet on Sundays and get to explain the work to each other, get to share mnemonics that we made for each other. And yeah, I think that actually helped. We stopped at some point, but it actually got to give me a good start, because we started with that. Like when we started our anatomy, we were like, guys, let's just meet up and go through this together. And we met up, went through this together, went through that together, and we stopped at some point, but it gave me a good start. And you actually get to see how your friends are doing it, and you actually get to cry together also and be like, oh damn, this is so difficult, you know, this is just a lot, you know. So if you have a friend that is in the same degree or doing the same modules, you guys can just like benefit from each other. You guys can just link up and do the things. So another thing that I'll talk about is past papers. So guys, I won't really talk about past papers in anatomy. I used them, but I don't think they helped a lot. So I'll talk about past papers in physiology. So I feel like anatomy, you can use past papers as a guide, but it's less likely for them to repeat. Maybe they do, I don't know. But then at WITS, no, I don't think they repeat past papers. We had like totally different questions in our year, totally different. But then for physiology, it's very much important to use past papers, because I know physiology you get an MCQ and an MEQ, whereby you get to actually answer long questions. Like they ask you questions and you actually get to answer. So past papers are actually important for the MEQ in physiology, because in physiology they need you to answer in a specific way. So sometimes you can know the work, and then when the results come back, you're like, what just happened? Candy? No, you needed to answer that question in a specific way. And I feel like the reason why I actually did very good in most of my MEQs is because I did past papers. And yeah, it's because I did past papers, and they actually gave me a guide on actually how to answer questions. And sometimes when I didn't go through the work, past papers would just let me, like I would go through the work through past papers. And lastly, what did I want to say again about past papers? Oh, again, I wanted to say physiology, I think they repeat past papers. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but another tip that I would give is to do past papers, because they repeat a lot. I feel like maybe not exactly, but most of the questions are actually similar to what they ask in past papers. Hence, I'm saying they want you to even answer in a specific way. So guys, physiology, past papers. Okay, now let's move on to the most important and the last tip: YouTube channels. So I put this as the last tip because it's very important. Number one, as a physiology and anatomy student, how are you not using YouTube? Like, because sometimes our lectures, oh okay, we can have good lectures, but I'm telling you, YouTube is like better than our lectures. YouTube deserves the word. YouTube guys, I'm telling you, YouTube got me through anatomy and physiology. YouTube made me ace my anatomy and physiology. So I'm going to actually plug you with the channels that I used to actually get through my anatomy and physiology, because you're gonna get like a lot of channels advertising here and there. Not really advertising, but I mean like you're gonna get a lot of channels displaying what you actually want, because you're gonna search there, okay, the thorax, mediastinal structures, whatsoever, and then YouTube will give you a lot of channels. They can get overwhelming, but I'm going to plug you with the most important channels that, guys, you won't regret if you're using these channels. I use them, and some I still use even today in my 4th year of study to get through my degree. So number one, Sam Webster. So this man, guys, this man is the man he thinks he is. And to think of it, I would actually skip his videos because they are actually very long. In my first weeks of anatomy, and then I actually had someone who I actually regarded as my mentor in second year, and that guy was like, you know what, please check out this man Webster on YouTube. I was like, I always see this man, but the videos are damn long. And he was like, it's actually worth it. I started watching this man, and I'm telling you guys, this man is really good. I would advise that you take your time. The videos are actually not even that long because it's like 20 minutes. Please take your time and watch this man. This man will change your life, I'm telling you. One thing that I like about YouTube channels and Webster and other channels, actually, especially the second one that I'm going to talk about now for anatomy, is that they actually get to show you. So they show the human body and actually rotate it, so you actually get to see the structure that you want properly, like how it is in the human body. That artery, you get to see how it actually crosses a specific structure. You get to see everything so nicely, like, because you were reading about this, you were even looking at it in your atlas, but now you get to see it in a 3D, or is it 4D? Like, you get to see it much more nicely, man. I'm not sure if you get me. I'm sure you get my point. So yeah, that's what I also liked about Webster. Webster has models that he uses, and when he teaches, he actually shows you, removes. Guys, please watch that man. I don't know how to explain it, but if you watch that man, you'll get what I'm talking about, and you definitely won't regret it. So number 2, and a disclaimer, yeah, I'm talking about anatomy. I'm plugging anatomy YouTube channels here. So number 2, let's speak about the noted anatomist. Videos very short, straightforward. If you want a quick thing to understand something, go to the noted anatomist. Just type arterial supply of this, noted anatomist. Muscles of the lower limb, noted anatomist. Forearm muscles, noted anatomist. Just type and say noted anatomist. Shortest videos ever and very straightforward. And another thing is that he, or is it a she, I don't remember, also uses 3D models whereby you're going to see whatever that you want to see properly and how it is in the human body. And then moving forward, I'll talk about this other channel that I also still use in my 4th year of study. So it's Amando. I don't know how to read the same name, but Amando, guys, for anatomy and physiology. This person is actually for both. It's very good. It's really very good. That channel actually explains everything. So it's more like a bot, and they actually write as they speak. They explain physiology much nicely, and also they explain the anatomy much nicely. The videos are also short. A real plug. Please check that channel out. And then lastly, for anatomy, I would also speak about Kenap. So this one is really great, very good, guys. But the problem with this one is that there's a subscription that you need to pay for you to get the full version of something. But if you just want a short version of it, you can just watch it. And I remember I created an account. Okay, let me not say this. Let me not say my illegal ways of how I went through Kenap. But then check it out, and if you have the money, you can subscribe and pay for it. It's worth it because it also has quizzes. They quiz you nicely, and the questions are very much relevant. So check them out also. So yeah, that's it for anatomy. I think those 4 are actually sufficient to get through your anatomy. So if you're lost and you don't know which YouTube channel to choose to study your anatomy, I got you. Those 4, I'm telling you. And if you know of any YouTube channel that also is good in anatomy, you can plug it in the comment section below. Now let's move on to physiology. Guys, as I told you, I didn't use any textbook, but I loved it, and I only used my lecture slides and going to tutorials. But there's this man can also be very useful in anatomy. There's this man called Ninja Nerd. Yo guys, Guys, this man saved my whole life. This man is still saving my career even now. I'm using this man in 4th year. Like, I'm using this man now. And my friends are literally like, you know, Ninjanet, long videos, because his videos are like an hour long. But I'm telling you, if you invest in his videos, you're gonna know your work. I'm telling you, you will know your work from A to Z. What's that? Personally, I'm a very I learn by listening and writing. So, and also I feel like I also learned by seeing, and I think med school taught me to learn by seeing, because in med school you have to see something to actually learn that particular thing, especially in anatomy and other stuff. But usually seeing was not like my kind of learning, but I need to listen to something and hear it and then write, you know. So Ninjanet, guys, this man, I could just play his YouTube video and just listen, and I'd get everything. I would be able to recite everything from A to Z, how this happened, how this happened, how this happened. That's how useful this man is. Please, 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 please use this man for your physiology. And he has good videos for anatomy and embryology too. So this man is good in everything, guys. Anything, everything and anything. If you need information on anything and anything, please, first resort should be Ninjanet. This man, good. And then secondly, for physiology, I would recommend Osmosis. Osmosis also has like a subscription also, but then I think there's a period whereby it was free. I don't know if it's for vet students or what. There was, yeah. So if you have the money, subscribe to Osmosis. Very, very good also for your physiology. I still use Osmosis even today. It's very, very great. Yeah, yeah, guys, I think that's all. And thank you for watching my video. I hope my tips really helped. I'm very passionate about sharing my experiences in med school, about actually getting to like tell people what I did wrong and what I did right and what I thought I could improve. So thank you for watching. I know this video might be a little bit longer than I had expected, and I hope you watched until the end, and thank you very much. Please subscribe, guys. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can have the motivation to actually share more. And you guys can actually type in the comment section the type of content you'd like to see on my channel. So thank you for watching my video. I hope it helped a lot, and I hope this video actually reached the right people who are overwhelmed. Calm down, you got this. Thank you.